killed her mom. Story time. So your girl was driving back home after running some errands. As I'm driving home, I see this old lady on the side of the road, leaning up against her car, crying. And I never usually do this, but I felt hella bad. And she was an old lady, so I pulled over for her. Once I pull over, tell me why this man comes out of the car. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not about to get kidnapped. I saw these stories on Facebook, so I locked my car and I cracked my window this much. Just a little bit so I could hear what he got to say. So he walks over to my passenger window and he's like, hey, we ran out of gas. I thought I had enough gas to get to the gas station, but we didn't. Can you help us out? And I don't know how to explain this, but you girls will understand this. You know that weird gut feeling you get, especially when you're talking to some weird person? I was getting that talking from him. And I'm like, I mean, I don't mind helping you, but I didn't want him in my car. And I think he saw that I was getting a little uncomfortable. So luckily he had one of those gas can things and I just had the wife sit in the car with me. We're driving for about a mile and she starts breaking down crying. This lady's husband killed her mom. Story time. Part 2. This old woman got in my car with her gas tank and we're not even driving for that long. Maybe about a mile or so. And she starts crying, breaking down crying. And she starts telling me about her hardships in life. Not gonna lie, this woman has had a very rough life. And I felt for her, like I genuinely felt hella bad. I'm just sitting here driving, trying to give her words of encouragement. And we're getting closer to the gas station. She's wrapping up her cry session. And right as we're pulling in, she hits me with the, yeah, it was so hard after my husband killed my mom, but I have to keep my spirits high. And I'm sitting here like, excuse me, what? My intuition was right. I knew I had a bad feeling about him. So I asked her, that guy that I just picked you up with killed your mom? And she was like, yeah, but he found God. And I'm not even gonna lie. I cut her off and I was like, and you're still with him? Basically, she told me how he wrote her every day he was in prison, telling her sorry and she forgave him. And right before I dropped her off, I was like, you sure you're good? You can give me your number if you need any help. She gave me a number that wasn't even hers. I feel played.
Am I the asshole for not sharing a bed with my best friend? Is it a friend or a friend? Kathie, a 28-year-old female, is my, a 29-year-old female oldest friend, and we have been through a lot together. Our relationship got a bit strained when I met my now husband, a 31-year-old male, and got a bit more strained when she realized he was serious about me and wasn't going anywhere. Well, she doesn't like my husband and she thinks he's too possessive and hogs me from her. Did you marry him or her? Just asking. The truth is, I don't travel as much as I used to because we're saving for a home. My husband doesn't like her either. He thinks she's clingy and immature. She made up some stories in the beginning of my husband and I's relationship so I would leave him. And why are y'all still friends? She showed you that she was crazy back then. Alright, I'm gonna let you finish. It was draining being in the middle of it all, but we made it work. I went low contact with her till she apologized to me and my husband. They still avoid each other and I keep each relationship separate so everything works out. We just got married 3 months ago and I haven't seen her since the wedding. My husband traveled out of town for business and urged me to invite her for the weekend so we can spend time together or something like that. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment and we made our master bedroom very cozy. It doesn't mean the guest room isn't nice, just not as nice as ours. My best friend came over and I showed her to the guest room. She came into our own room and asked that we sleep in a master bedroom together like old times. We used to rent a 1-bedroom apartment back in the day and we used to share a bed, but that was a long time ago. I didn't want my husband to freak out because I let her sleep in our bed, and honestly I didn't want to either, so I told her no. Well, she threw a tantrum and told me she was waiting for this day, and I was just shoving her aside and choosing my husband over her. She grabbed her things, left, and then blocked me when I tried calling and texting. But now she has our other friends calling me mean and saying I'm reading too much into sharing a bed, and now I'm rethinking everything. Am I the a-hole? First of all, it would be weird for 2 grown people to be sleeping in the same bed when there's 2 beds in the house and one of you are married. Second of all, even with that not being the case, you not wanting to sleep in the same bed as her should be something that is reasonable. But even if that's not the case, you deciding that you don't want to sleep in the bed with her should not be enough to set her off. To be honest, it sounds like this girl in love with you. Because no sane person is going to leave and block you and say I don't want to be your friend anymore because you don't want to sleep in the same bed as them. You as a human being should be able to declare to your friend what is comfortable for you and what is not comfortable for you. And if something makes you uncomfortable, you shouldn't be forced to do it. And she shouldn't try to guilt trip you to do it either. No, you are not wrong. She's possessive, clingy, and crazy, and you knew that in the beginning, and you should have cut her ass off a long time ago when she tried to break up you and your then boyfriend just because she didn't like him. That's not a thing that sane people do. You are not the a-hole. She is. Hit that follow button and subscribe to the Church of Joe Stone podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I am Joe Stone. Bye.
I cheat on my wife once a year, and as a result our marriage is great. I'm sure not everyone will agree with this, but once a year I cheat on my wife, and I'm 100% sure that as a result our marriage is stronger and better than most. Let me explain. I've heard from all of my guy friends how they want to bang this chick, bang the next, but they don't want to cheat on their wife. As a result, they aren't happy, and they usually end up bringing the relationship down. Me? Nah. Roughly once a year I go on a business trip, and I find a local little hottie to get it on with. I'm not going to go into the details of the people I have s with, but I always do it safely and responsibly, and without prostitution. My wife doesn't know, and she would never go for it. She's big on monogamy. I wish I could be, but as a male, we're wired to want to F. After I F my once-a-year hottie, I'll come home feeling rejuvenated. It causes my life with my wife to continue to be amazing. Once or twice I've learned a few tricks from my romps, and she adores our life. I don't feel the need to look at other women while we are out. I don't need to feel dragged down by monogamy. It keeps me feeling young and on the edge. I think it even helps out my professional life out. I love her to death, and half of the reason I cheat on her is because I love her. I don't want to burn out. I don't like arguments. She's happy, I'm happy, and our kids have a great life. I felt bad the first time I did it. After then, I realized it was healthy and a good thing to have us outside of my marriage, since it brought me and my wife closer.
Am I wrong for not lying about why I could not remove my headscarf? I, 24 female, am a bridesmaid for one of my closest friends, Jackie, 24. I've been so excited to help. I was in charge of the bridal shower, the games, decorations, and menu. I left the guest list to Jackie's sister. Due to religious reasons, I wear a headscarf. I love and am very proud of it. In the group chat with other bridesmaids, I was talking about how excited I am to attend a girls-only event. I recently dyed my hair and wanted to show it off. I even paid extra to ask for a girls-only staff that day. Day of, as guests arrived, I realized one of them is Tori, 26 female. I know Tori as a family friend of Jackie's, but the few times I met her, it was before her transition to female. I was aware of it, but unaware she was coming to the shower. I don't mind at all, of course, and she's a lovely person, but I decided to keep my scarf on. As everyone's eating later, I'm passing by the tables to make sure everyone's good, and one of my bridesmaids mentioned that they hadn't gotten to see my hair and they wanted to see it. I tried to dismiss it at first or say, "Oh, I'll show you later," but the other girls at the table got curious. I got uncomfortable and I just said, "Oh, I'm actually not really comfortable taking it off right now." When pressed as to why, I said there's guests I don't feel comfortable taking it off in front of. There was a collective, "Oh," and I thought, cool, that's over. But one girl got aggressive and asked if I was referring to Tori. She's loud and the other tables turn to look. I don't answer. The girl asks if I wear one around men, so I say yes. She then says there's no men here, so clearly you should take it off. I tell her again that I'm keeping it on. Another bridesmaid defends me and tells the girl to chill out. Tori comes over and says me not taking it off is a slap in the face to her identity. I'm just shocked and had no clue what to do. Eventually, Tori and a few girls left saying that they felt it was disrespectful. I feel awful that this ruined a beautiful day for my friend. It's causing more trouble with people threatening to leave the wedding over discrimination towards me or towards Tori. I don't think I was in the wrong. Just as Tori can be Tori, I can be me. I feel like it'd be the equivalent of me making Tori or someone else adjust for me. I feel like we should just accept and respect each other rather than be woke one-sided. My question is more about being honest as to why I couldn't. Jackie is on my side, but Jackie's sister is giving her hell for it, saying she purposely left out that detail in the guest list to test me. Jackie says I should have brushed it off and said I was having a bad hair day or avoid giving an answer. I didn't ever mention Tori's name in my answer, and I don't think my answer was rude, but seeing how much stress it's causing, I'm thinking I should have made up a lie. So, am I wrong for how I handled the situation? Am I wrong for taking my friend to court after she kicked me out of the bridal party for cutting my hair? For my friend's 3-day wedding, I had to buy 3 different dresses, including alterations and specific shoes, which totaled over $700. She also wanted specific hairstyles for each day. Unfortunately, starting in March, my hair started to deteriorate. Due to health reasons, my hair was falling out in chunks, and in May, I made the difficult decision to cut my hair. I told the bride about my decision 2 weeks before the wedding, and she didn't say anything bad. The following week, she came over to my house, and when she was about to leave, she brought up that she was concerned about my haircut, and I told her it would look good even though I wouldn't be in uniform with the other bridesmaids. The following day, I received this message. After our recent conversations, I like to remind you of my boundaries. I've been very accommodating and graceful, but I cannot allow you to disrespect me. As you know, my wedding has been something I've dreamt of for many years. My husband and I have invested a lot of money into the video and photos of this day, and as we reflect on this day in the future, we want to see our vision reflected in the memories. Since I asked each of you to be my bridesmaids in 2019, I've been very clearly and very communicative in my request. The timing of your decision to cut your hair and not come in advance is very upsetting to me. I would have felt respected if you had communicated with me more than a week prior to the wedding, so we could have worked together to find a collaborative solution. Your inconsistencies have concerned me, and while I sympathize with your health conditions, I'm not willing to compromise my vision to accommodate you, or anyone else, when you have informed me in advance and we could have found a better solution. Since this is something you can no longer fully commit to, I need you to please step down from participating in my wedding. This was 3 days before the wedding. I immediately sent her and her husband an invoice asking them to reimburse for the dresses and shoes, keeping in mind that one of the dresses is still in her possession even though I paid for it. I was told I was inconsistent and selfish after I spent the past 2 weeks helping her plan the wedding shower. I worked with another bridesmaid to surprise her with a bridal shower after our bachelorette trip had to be canceled. I spent hours helping her out with wedding details. When she asked me to help her tone up before the wedding, I sent her a personalized workout program and even went with her to the gym to show her the ropes. When I agreed to be her bridesmaid, I was more than willing to oblige with what she asked, even if at times it was a lot of time and money. So, am I wrong for taking her to court because she kicked me out for cutting my hair?